I always get people that will tell me, you have to take action in order to manifest. Like it's just taking action. And yes, action is needed. We have to take action at some point, but you're never going to take the action if your mindset isn't on board. And your mindset's never going to get on board if you don't regulate your nervous system first, because your nervous system decides what you're capable of manifesting before your mindset ever comes into play. So, this is one of those episodes where the science is actually going to make the woo make sense. So, welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about some of the stuff behind manifestation to make it make sense from more of a scientific standpoint, because I think a lot of times we start to doubt ourselves. Like, still to this day, I will doubt manifestation. I'll doubt whether it works because we all come to these scenarios where we're trying so hard to manifest something and it's just not happening. And we start to second guess everything, like, was this all in my head? Is this even real? And yes, it's very real. And when you can understand more of what's happening inside of your mind and inside of your body and how this all correlates to you manifesting, it takes that uncertainty and that seed of doubt out of the picture. And you start to learn that, okay, it's not that manifestation doesn't work. It's that I am not creating favorable conditions to manifest a life I don't need a vacation from. And if I can create these favorable conditions, things just seem to happen. They seem to manifest with ease, with me doing very little to make it happen. Okay. So I'm going to break all of that down for you. And I think once you understand what is happening within you, you're never going to look at this whole like raise your vibration and be more positive the same way again. It's going to kind of shift the paradigm a little bit. So let's talk about what's actually happening inside of your body. Okay. Your nervous system has two main modes. There's sympathetic, which is your fight or flight state. And I'm not going to go like into the whole fight, flight, freeze. I have a whole program where I dive into that and it gets a little in depth. So we've all heard of fight or flight. That's your sympathetic nervous system. You also have the parasympathetic nervous system, and this is your rest and digest state. So that's where your body actually has bandwidth for things outside of just survival. Okay. So we're wired this way because think about like caveman days, right? And if there is danger around and you're busy daydreaming and like doing something creative, you can get eaten by a tiger, right? So you need to have this fight or flight response to survive. Once the threat is no longer and you're in a place where, okay, it's safe. Like for example, if you hear birds chirping, it naturally calms your nervous system down because it tells your body if the birds are chirping, there's not a predator nearby that's going to eat you. Okay, so this is like how we're wired. So when the birds are chirping and your body gets that signal that, like, okay, it's safe, I can calm down, then it can shift into this rest and digest state where you are more open to opportunities, to daydreaming, to imagination, to creativity, to all of these wonderful things that we need as a fundamental part of manifesting our life and a very important part. So, when you're in this fight or flight mode, your brain, your subconscious, your reticular activating system is scanning the environment for threats. It's not scanning for opportunities at that point because what's more important is your survival. So I want you to think about this in modern day times, okay? When you're spiraling and you're stuck in this loop of negative thinking and everything around you, it's like, oh my God, like the economy is shit and da, 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 and like there's all these things going wrong and so is so mean to me. And you're just Like, what is wrong with me? I'm spiraling for no reason. Why am I being so negative? Why can't I just think positive? Why can't I just be happier? You're it's not you. Like, it's not your personality. It is your subconscious mind is scanning for threats, for danger, for anything that can hurt you, that can be bad for you. That is its job. It's a survival mechanism. It's simply your biology doing its job to keep you alive. Okay. It is not that there's something wrong with you. And this is why the whole, like, just think positive that we hear a lot, especially in like the self-development industry, doesn't work, because you can't just force yourself to think positive when your subconscious thinks that there's a threat looming. It's going to keep searching for that threat to keep you safe from it, to keep you alive. And there's a bigger problem at play here, because now we live in a society where most of us are walking around in this kind of low grade fight or flight all day long. All day long, because our society has done a very good job of conditioning us to constantly think we need to be doing something. We need to be productive. And so we're rushing, doing, working so hard. And we're taught to think that stress is a badge of honor. That just means that you have a good work ethic, you're working hard, you're super productive if you're stressed out. And if you're not working and doing and rushing and stressing, then you're lazy, you're unmotivated. Like, we have been very conditioned to believe this subconsciously. It's not like you're consciously having these thoughts, but subconsciously it's there. And when you look at the way we schedule constant activities for our kids nowadays, our school system, like, our kids are in school for a minimum of 6 hours a day. Then there's after school activities, sports, clubs, extracurriculars, right? Then you're rushing from school to the activities, to then getting dinner quickly, right? And then doing homework so that you can get to bed, so you can wake up and you can repeat the whole cycle over and over again. And so it's getting even worse. It's like we're literally conditioned to be doing something at all times. And I know for me, like, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. I just remember there being a lot of time to play, to be outside. Um, I remember being bored as a kid, like, so much, especially like over summer break, if your parents work and you're like at home and you're bored. And I will never forget listening to this pediatrician that said the best thing you can do for your kids is to let them experience boredom. Because when they're bored, that is when creativity and imagination will kick in to high gear. And that's where they'll have these brilliant thoughts and kind of like find themselves and find what they're interested in, rather than being told what they're interested in. And that's not the way our society is operating. And now you throw in social media and technology, and it's like there's never downtime. There's always something to keep us going, to keep us, distracted. So we're in this state where we're running around and like performing, right? Doing good at school, doing good in sports, whatever. And it keeps us in this sympathetic nervous system state. So then your body is scanning for threats. It thinks you're in danger. And when it thinks you're in danger, it's not going to prioritize creative thinking, opportunity spotting, or even aligned action, right? So when people say, well, yeah, just take action. Well, how do you even know what action to take when you're constantly in this survival mode, just trying to get by, just trying to stay out of danger? And this is like subconscious, by the way. It's not like you're thinking, oh, there's a threat, I'm going to die. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and fantasy, first of all. And so anything that's outside of your routine, outside of your comfort zone, is a threat to your life, essentially. Like, this is the way your subconscious is trying to protect you. It's trying to keep the status quo. And so, yeah, it's like constantly scanning for these threats. And in this constant state of doing and constant distractions, it's no wonder that not only are we having trouble manifesting, but we don't even know what we want to manifest because we don't even have time to slow down and daydream and just think, like, what do we even want? Get clarity on where we're headed because we don't have time. And when we do have time at the end of the day, we're so exhausted, right? So it really can like fuck up your whole life if you don't start to regulate your nervous system. And a big reason why I'm explaining all this is because for the longest time, I would hear people talk about regulating their nervous system. And I'm just like, oh my God, boring. Like I don't have time for that because I am a doer. I'm an action taker. I don't like sitting still. Like I feel like I always have to be doing something because of all this conditioning. And I was really turned off by the whole nervous system thing for a while because I'm just like, I don't have time for that. But when you hear people talking online about nervous system regulation, like this is what they mean. Like this is the implication. It's not this woo-woo crunchy mom thing that's nice to have, like a bubble bath or something. It's that your physical state is determining what your brain, or I should say your conscious mind, even gets to process. And so you could think like, okay, I'm going to try and manifest more abundance, more opportunities for abundance, but you're stuck in this sympathetic nervous system state. There could literally be an opportunity right in front of you, and you are not going to see it because your subconscious is saying, we don't have time for that. We need to keep you safe. And so we're going to focus on all this scary shit that's happening around you. And with social media, there's scary shit all the time. Like we are notified of everything that happens in the entire world that's bad. Like our whole news system is created around this stuff. And just think about back before technology, no one experienced that. Like you would hear of someone being like murdered, for example, if it happened like in your immediate village or maybe the next village over. You wouldn't hear about people like all over the world. You wouldn't hear about natural disasters on the other side of the world. All of this fear-based stuff is constantly being pumped into us via social media. And so our subconscious is scanning for threats like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's really amped up a lot. And so what happens is you want to manifest abundance. Your subconscious is like, no, that keep dreaming. Like we have to keep you alive right now. That's what we're going to focus on. And so it doesn't manifest. You don't see these opportunities that are right in front of you. And then you internalize that either as I suck at manifesting. I need to work harder. I need to try harder. I need to do more rituals, more affirmations, more. And all it does is compound the problem because it keeps you stuck in that sympathetic nervous system state. You see, and so obsessing over it is actually hurting you more than helping you. And so that's why when you finally let go and stop obsessing over the outcome, it manifests. When you finally are just like, screw it, it's not going to work. And then it manifests. That's why, because you're finally giving your nervous system a signal that it's safe to rest. You're finally pausing and you're not doing, and you're allowing yourself to go into that parasympathetic state to where your subconscious can say, okay, I'm safe. So now I can start looking for these opportunities. So you're never going to see those opportunities as long as you're stuck in this stressed out state, which we all are in today's world, right? So there's this thing that's like the nervous system subconscious connection as a whole, right? And this is why I'm so adamant about subliminals, because if you have a subconscious belief that having money is not safe because it either means you're greedy or because you're going to lose it all, or like, someone's going to steal it from you. That subconscious belief is sending a signal to your nervous system, hey, this isn't safe. And then when it comes to money, you're in this fight or flight mode. Okay. So it's all connected. It's like this domino effect. So the other thing we need to understand is heart-brain coherence, where if you've listened to Joe Dispenza, he talks about this a lot, the HeartMath Institute, but your heart actually has its own network of neurons. So a lot of people refer to it as the heart brain. And you also have a gut brain, by the way, but we're not going to go there today. So you have a heart brain. And so when your heart rhythm is smooth and steady, you're regulating that. It sends these calming signals up to your actual brain, and that calms your nervous system. So if you can regulate this heart brain, get into this heart brain coherence, it helps regulate the mind. It helps get you into this parasympathetic state. So how it all ties to manifestation is it's not just, oh, I'm going to think it and it's going to happen. And it's not just, I'm going to take action and it's going to happen. It's you have to get your nervous system and your subconscious beliefs to actually calm down and stop scanning for threats so that they can instead start scanning for opportunities. And the opportunities are always there. You're just not seeing them because you're not in this state where you feel safe enough to scan for opportunities. That's it. That's the mechanism. And so there are actually simple ways that you can train to get yourself into this parasympathetic nervous system state. And so I want to give you 3 super quick ways to do it on today's episode. I also have a program. It's called Release to Receive, and it's all around this. It's these 30-second safety anchors is what I call them, that signal safety for your subconscious and your nervous system. So I'm going to give you 3 examples today. The first one, we've all heard it. Well, at least I think, but it's the long exhale. Okay. So the way that I think of it is your exhale is like the brake pedal for your nervous system. So when you extend it longer than your inhale, you're signaling the body, hey, we're safe. We can take a break. So this is the ratio that's it's a no-brainer. It's super easy to start with. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, and then you're going to exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. That's it. And you do this for a minute, 5 or 6 rounds. And that is enough to give your body this clear physical signal to shift out of fight or flight. And I remember learning about this from my doctor when I was having panic attacks because I was in my corporate job. And this was the phase where my boss was sitting me down for an interrogation, basically. And I was literally having panic attacks where I felt like I was dying. And my doctor was like, okay, the next time that happens, you're going to try this. You're going to inhale and then exhale longer than your inhale. So inhale for 4, exhale for 8. And it worked. It worked, and it worked fast. So it would actually stop the panic attack from progressing. It was like I just flipped a switch and I went from full-blown panic mode to okay, I can do this. So that's, just a little bit of intentional breathing can completely shift your state from thinking, oh my God, I'm in so much danger, to being okay, I can handle this. I can sit down and do this. And the reason I like this so much is because it doesn't require you to think differently or to feel differently. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force yourself to be positive. You just breathe differently. And your body starts to catch up. And then when your body does, then your mind can start opening up to more positive thoughts. So it's not always you have to think it first. Sometimes you have to get your body in a state of rest and digest in order for you to even think about these things that you want to manifest. Okay. Technique 2, this one is so stupid easy, but again, like nobody teaches us about this stuff. Hum, sing, or gargle. You probably do that already, but like this is just how can we make this a habit every day? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but the reason it works is because of the vagus nerve. So that runs from your brain stem down through your throat all the way into your gut, the gut brain. And it's basically the on ramp for that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest state. And because it runs through your throat, through your vocal cords, things like humming, singing, or gargling stimulate it. And when it's stimulated, your whole nervous system relaxes. And so the next time you're spiraling or just feel off, you can hum a song for 30 seconds. You can sing in the car. Like it actually works, like it's not just a metaphor, like it literally calms your nervous system because it's physically activating the nerve that is responsible for calming your body down. And so I've taught my kids to do this every night right before bed. Let's calm down. We're going to brush our teeth and then we're going to gargle with water for 30 seconds. And it's so easy. It's like anyone can implement this. You're already brushing your teeth, just gargle. Just get some mouthwash or water and gargle. And you may already do that, maybe not. But if you don't, start doing it now. And my kids think it's silly and they actually like love it because they're like, oh, it sounds so funny, but it's actually calming their nervous system down before bed. So it's an easy thing to habit stack and works effectively because again, it's immediately stimulating the vagus nerve, which calms your body down. So technique number 3 is heart-focused breathing. So this is my favorite. I learned this recently and it blew my mind. And I love practicing it because it feels like you're shifting your reality. Okay. So I saw this guy on Instagram and he was talking about consciousness and how we assume that consciousness is like in our brain. And we think of consciousness in our brain because our eyes are in our head. And that's where we're viewing the world. Okay. But he said instead, place your hand on your heart and imagine your consciousness is in your heart. Imagine you're viewing the world from your heart. So if you're talking to someone, just think like my heart is viewing them instead of like my eyes and my brain, my heart. Like have the energy coming from your heart and view the world from your heart instead of your brain. And I am telling you, it's like shifting your reality. Like you go from being, when you're thinking it's coming from your brain, you're in this like kind of like flighty, anxious state, or at least I am. When it's coming from your heart, it's like you instantly switch into this loving state where you just look at the world differently. Like you see everything from this like loving, warm viewpoint. And it shifts your perception immediately and it calms your nervous system. And that's probably why it shifts your perception. It's probably calming your nervous system and then shifting your perception. But it is wild. You feel this loving energy that you're putting out and you're receiving back. And it's pretty wild. So I would just start practicing it now. Like instead of thinking about this episode and listening to me like from up here, just put your hand on your heart and like take it in through your heart. Next time you're talking to someone's in front of you, I think is the most potent way to test this out. But imagine you're talking to them from your heart. And I'm telling you, you just will feel things so intensely and look at things with a more compassionate, calming, warm, loving viewpoint. It's so wild. So please try that and let me know. I would love to know if other people are experiencing this as intensely as I am. So like send me a message on Instagram at Law of Attraction Tribe, or like you can reply to one of my emails and let me know. But I'm just curious if it has the same level of impact. but it's the fastest way to prompt that heart-brain coherence that I talked about earlier. It's like, do it for 2 minutes when you're talking to somebody. And once you've practiced this, then try that. Like, let's say you're going into a meeting or a difficult situation. Try just coming into your heart. Like, it helps to place a hand on your heart and try like talking from your heart and imagining like your consciousness, everything's coming from your heart, not your head. And I'm telling you, whatever you're doing, it will land differently. It will make you kind of like magnetic. It will make you look at things in a better way, and it will calm you down. It'll definitely like slow down all of the anxiety and the racing thoughts that you have going on in your mind. So, those are my 3 tips that you can try together. And to kind of like summarize everything, your nervous system is deciding what your brain is going to notice. So, regulation, it's not this fluffy woo woo thing. It's like the foundation. If you are not regulated and your nervous system is in fight or flight sympathetic mode, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to manifest anything. Okay. So, long exhale, do the 4 count inhale, 8 count exhale through your mouth. Option 2, hum, sing, or gargle to stimulate your vagus nerve. Do it for like 30 seconds. Option 3, heart focused breathing. Put your hand on your chest. Take some deep breaths and just view the world through that heart center. And you'll notice none of these things require an hour or anything, right? Like it takes 30 seconds, but that's all you need to shift that state. And so it's just really good to know you can do these on the fly. You can do these literally in front of somebody. Well, maybe not gargling, but the other ones you can do in front of somebody and they're not even going to know. So anyhow, reach out to me. Let me know on Instagram if they worked for you. I want to know about the heart-centered one. And send this episode to somebody that is struggling. If you know somebody who is anxious or has a big event coming up or is just spiraling and just in this negative viewpoint in their life right now, have some grace. Know that there's nothing wrong with them. It is their nervous system. And send them this episode so they have some tips on how to regulate it, to calm down. I mean, literally everyone could use this right now because we're all stressed out all the time thanks to our conditioning. So I hope this helps calm you down. And by calming down, you're going to manifest better. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.